As mentioned previously, the devs have stated they aren't necessarily going to stick to alternating legendary and mythic heroes each month, and this is our first instance of back-to-back legendary banners. As per usual though, these monthly banners have a starting 8% 5-star focus rate, and this particular one lasts around 2 weeks, which is pretty long. We will briefly be going over the 12 heroes available and look at all the fun skills they have. For March, our legendary hero is going to be Nanna. She got a pretty sweet flying healer ult in the past year, but Nanna is out for blood this time and she's going to be a sword cavalier. She is an earth legendary hero, and another reminder that new legendaries get the parrot bonus plus grand bonus stats as well. Nanna will grant extra res, I believe. In terms of ult skills, Nanna has Miracle, probably just to be annoying for her legendary battle map. She has attack and speed push 4 because the devs want you to chase for attack and speed catch, but they did give her attack and speed menace for fun buffing and debuffing prowess. For a unique weapon, Nanna has the Lance Sword. This is a 60 weapon with an extra +3 attack, and if Nanna has more than 25% HP, she gets 5 other effects. She gets +6 attack and speed during combat, offensive no follow-up, she disables non-special effects that reduce damage by X%, she also just straight up prevents defensive specials from activating, and after combat, Nanna heals for 7 HP. Good lord, so first off, lots of attack and speed with partial no follow-up, never a bad deal. Nanna has some self-healing, she neutralizes percent-based damage reduction effects, and introduces a brand new ability that prevents those specials that are triggered by units attack. That applies to things like Aegis, Pavis, Ice Mirror, negating Fang, and I assume Miracle as well. From the description, it just sounds like Nanna completely prevents these specials from activating, which is pretty hilarious and might have some implications for the future. The regular defensive specials have begun to thrive thanks to Hardy Fighter, but it seems like they've started to become a problem. Back in the day when Altina got introduced, her Twin Blade special negated % damage reduction effects, and we mainly thought that was targeted at units like Brave Ike. Well, literally less than a month later, Close Call entered the game, aka Dodge B skills, and since then, damage reduction has kind of gotten out of hand. Lance Sword, basically hard countering defensive specials, could just be Nanna's niche, but it could also signal something to come. We've gotten more powerful inheritable offensive specials like Vital Astra, but who's to say we couldn't see new inheritable defensive specials? I guess we'll have to wait and see. In addition to Lance Sword, Nanna has a unique B skill, Holter's Zeal. It enables Kanto remaining +1. It deals extra true damage per hit equal to 20% of Nanna's attack stat, and if she initiates combat, she gets a Desperation effect. Very powerful offensive perks. Kanto is great regardless, and you could get some bigger movement since this is Kanto remaining +1. Nanna will get extra true damage similar to Brave Sen Scale or Legendary Dimitri's Atrocity. It's not 25% of her attack stat, but 20% is still a ton. If you hit 70 attack, for example, that's an extra 14 damage per hit. With no follow-up and Desperation, if Nanna outspeeds, she's gonna hit you twice in a row, and that's double the true damage on top of her basic attacks. She ignores basically all damage reduction effects, minus a few cases like Spring Maria's Axe, and then she gets the Kanto away. Suffice to say, but Legendary Nanna is pretty obviously a player-phase sword cav. If she gets to you first and you don't outspeed her, that's a lot of upfront damage, plus you cannot hide behind % damage reduction. I assume she's going to be quite squishy, which is why she has the Desperation effect, plus Nanna has 0 defensive perks in her kit, outside of attack and speed menaces debuffs. If you can reach her first, she should go down pretty fast. Now in terms of stats, Crusader Nanna has 41 speed, and she's a healer. I expect no less than that for this Nanna's actual combative ult, and I would assume she has at least 40 base attack. With her Desperation effect, you can basically just stack on more attack and speed, and the more attack Nanna has, the more true damage she tacks on as a bonus. In terms of skills, Lance Sword healing does counteract attack speed pushes recoil, but what if Nanna didn't take any recoil in the first place? Ideally, she should not be getting hit at all, but if Nanna has to get scrappy, she does need to stay above 25% HP for her weapon to proc. Overall, I do think Legendary Nanna has to be respected. She does not care at all about % based damage reduction, so no hiding behind 5 flames or something like that, and being able to just flat out ignore defensive specials could be really strong depending on the future. A lot of people are right to say that a lot of Hardy Fighter abusers are far safe users such as Ascended Fjorm or Brave Hector, but the door is now open for this no defensive specials ability to appear on a ranged unit. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. Moving on, let's talk about the 11 other heroes on this banner. In the red group joining Nanna is Legendary Sigurd and LILINA. Blue has ULLR, SEIROS, and Legendary CHROM. Green has THRASIR, Legendary CELICA, and RENNAC. Last, colorless has Ash, Milla, and Wolf. Talked about Nanna already, and in terms of inheritable skills, you can get attack and speed push 4 and attack and speed menace. If you want both, you're gonna need to get attack and speed push 3 from some units like Gonzalez, Patrine, or Summer Leone. Joining Nanna is another great sword cav in Legendary Sigurd, very strong unit with perma 4 movement thanks to his special, and if Sigurd procs it, he gives +1 movement to his entire team. Sigurd isn't a slouch in combat either, with a lot of attack and a free follow-up. He also has 40% damage reduction for 1 hit against ranged foes, and he has Crusader's Ward to get more damage reduction on continuous ranged attacks. As one of the top 8 finalists for Hero Rises, it's clear a lot of people value Legendary Sigurd a ton. Now for passives, you can get Attack and Defense Catch 4 and Fatal Smoke, 2 very nice and rare skills. Rounding out this group is Legendary LILINA, a red mage cav. While LILINA has incredible base res, she's mainly used as another scary initiator. Gifted Magic is a unique 2 cooldown AoE special, and LILINA will pre-charge it on turn 1. Even though it's a weaker AoE, it still lets LILINA attack with the special first, then she makes her basic attack, so essentially it's like 2 hits before the enemy gets to counter. Without guard active, she also recharges Gifted Magic in the process. I've seen a lot of LILINAs with double life and death for maximum firepower, but she does have attack and res solo 4 if you do want to tank other mages. Pulse Smoke is nice for dealing with teams who charge specials initially. Sabotage res is also good for debuffing, but you can get it from Solon if you want to inherit it. For the most part, if you want Legendary Nanna now, definitely not a bad red group. If you want a red cav in general, then it's a real good time to summon. Moving on to the blue group, we have Mythic ULLR. She's a light mythic and a super offensive blue infantry archer. Similar to Legendary Nanna, ULLR can initiate with desperation and no follow-up. She also has no guard, excited specials, and the ever potent Deadeye special. To get it charged up, she has Times Pulse and Life and Death 4 for tons of attack and speed. Pretty simple unit, and Deadeye or Times Pulse is always valuable fodder. Second blue unit is going to be Mythic SEIROS, a tanky animal mythic hero. She's a blue infantry dragon, and her Aurora Breath can grant a follow-up attack with bonus attack when initiating, or prevent a follow-up with bonus defense and res when the foe initiates. SEIROS can buff her fellow mythic allies for 5 turns with Wings of Light. She then has Mirror Impact and the fun Dragon Wall B skill for personal combat. Dragon Wall is probably the most popular dragon specific skill since damage reduction is still dang strong even as we get more counters in the game. Last unit is Legendary CHROM, another blue infantry archer. This CHROM is focused on dealing a ton of damage in 1 hit with his armor effective bow that neutralizes all debuffs on himself, and he inflicts attack and defense debuffs on the foe. CHROM takes it further with low attack and defense while neutralizing enemy field buffs. Like his recent dual ult, to change fate is what makes Legendary CHROM so deadly. He repositions an ally and then he gets to move again. Very annoying to face off against. To round out the passives, CHROM's gonna have close counter for melee fights and rouse defense and res if he ends up on his own. I do not have Legendary CHROM or LILINA myself, so being able to get dual CHROM recently has been a real treat. It's nice to be on the other side of their incredible movement tactics for once. Moving on to the green group, we have Mythic THRASIR, a green infantry mage. THRASIR can be a deadly mage if the foe has less than 4 HP or a penalty on them. If that occurs, Killing Intent inflicts speed and res debuffs and provides desperation. Her tome gives stats, neutralizes the foe's follow-up skills, and is also effective against dragons. This does come at the cost of inflicting debuffs on her nearest ally after combat though. Now for passives, THRASIR has Flashing Blade 4 and Panic Smoke. Flashing Blade 4 can be really fun with some of the new Ninja Brave weapons, and in general, it's been a pretty somewhat rare skill to get a hold of. Second, we have Legendary CELICA, another green infantry mage. She's similar to Legendary Alm with a tome that deals true damage based on 25% of the foe's res stat. CELICA combines this with Soul Sophia, which is essentially no follow-up 3 with Desperation 3. The hardest part is getting into Desperation range safely. For skills, CELICA has the ever-potent Swift Sparrow 3, and while attack and speed oath is still fantastic, it's now available on Ninja Shamir if you really want it. Last green unit is RENNAC, who is not a legendary or mythic, but he has some great fodder. He's a green infantry dagger who has basically been instantly overshadowed by Kath, who's a 3 to 4 star demote. RENNAC does have higher defense, but it's obviously a lot harder to get a 5-star unit. Regardless of stats or availability, RENNAC has some amazing skills for dagger units. The Vicious Dagger Plus is a copy of the Quarterly Fan Plus, and is one of the best offensive inheritable daggers you can get. Plus 5 attack and speed with offensive no follow-up. RENNAC also has attack and speed solo 4 for any speedy unit, and then he has another tool for dagger units with Disarm Trap 3. It's a very nice B skill for 8th raids. Last up, we have Colorless, starting with Mythic Ashe. She is the free Book 6 unit, so everyone can get her. She's a light Mythic with the extra team slot for Aether Raids, and Ashe can ferry her team around with Opening Retainer, plus she's going to give them an attack boost. For her own combat, Horn of Opening is pretty good. It accelerates specials, gives +6 attack, inflicts -6 attack on the foe, and with 3 nearby allies, Ashe also gets a follow-up attack with follow-up prevention. In terms of skills, Ashe can pass along Attack and Defense Unity, or Low Attack and Defense 3. There are a couple free-to-play sources of Attack and Defense Bond 3 if you want to grab both of those skills. Next up is Mythic Milla, another light Mythic, and she's a colorless infantry dragon. Milla is pretty supportive in nature. Her Nurturing Breath grants +2 to all stats for allies within a giant AoE, and Milla's Turn Will not only gives an extra turn in Aether Raids, but it can inflict the nasty isolation status on defenders. From her boss, she has Rally Defense Res Plus. For debuffs, she has Sabotage Attack. If Milla does need to fight, she has Brazen Stance 3, which is the pure enemy phase tank option if you want guard. Last unit on the banner is Wolf, a colorless bow cav. Wolf is another pretty basic offensive archer. His unique bow gives him desperation, so as long as he can double, he's gonna hit twice in a row with tons of attack and speed. He gets more firepower with Life and Death 4, and he has Panic Smoke for after combat. Wolf also has Defense and Res Snag if you want to give that debuffing playstyle a try, as they so holder of it. This is another incredibly rare snag skill. That would be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on Legendary Nanna. This banner lasts for a pretty long time, so we will see the upcoming spring banner lineup if you wanted to wait a bit. Additionally, last call for a Hero Rises banner. That one ends tonight before the next reset, so get your summons in now. Thank you for watching. Good luck if you are summoning, and I'll see you in the next video.